Welcome to my channel, where we discuss everything and all things politics, economy, and development in Nigeria and around the world. In this video, we're going to try to answer a very critical question. Who are those behind the Russian waving northern youths at the end bad governance protests in most of the states in northern Nigeria? Who are those behind it? Those behind it are pushing for a Nigerian, a Malian, and Burkina Faso style regime change in Nigeria. That's what they are pushing for. And Nigerians have to resist them. You know why? Because the worst civilian government is better than the best military administration. And in this video, we're going to look at those who are behind, who we believe from our analysis, from our understanding of what is playing out, those who are behind this anti-democratic agenda. We're going to unravel it in this video, those who are behind it. And we have to also make it clear, like I said, that the worst civilian administration is better than the best military administration. As bad as the Tinubu administration is, it is better than the best military administration. And military must never be allowed to near corridor of power in Nigeria ever again. This is because those who don't understand Nigeria's political history perhaps are not aware that it was the military that destroyed this country. Perhaps for those who don't know, if the military did not intervene in our politics and carried out a coup in 1966, there would have been no civil war in 1967. 3 million innocent people would not have died. It is that military misadventure into Nigerian politics that Nigeria is still suffering from today. There is nothing to recommend them. No crop of military people can be better than the civilians we have today. There are a lot of civilians who can do better than Tinubu administration. There are many of them who can do far better than Tinubu administration. But on no account should anybody instigate the military to torpedo the system, because the military was the one that put us in this comatose place we are in Nigeria. Because they are even more corrupt than civilians. We can talk about corruption in the civilian, but the military are the most corrupt we have ever seen. All of them, no matter how they pretend that they are saints, all of them, there was no accountability. Look at Sani Abacha, how much has been collected from him in over 100 banks outside Nigeria. So nothing to recommend them. And the military, the history of any country that military have been intervening, look at them. They have never been able to develop. From Egypt to Pakistan to everywhere. A case in point is, look at Pakistan. Pakistan and India, they are one country. They were known as India. In 1948, when the British want to give them independence, Mohammed Nehru, who is a Muslim leader, he said he cannot share one country with the Hindu-dominated India, that they must divide India into two. They divided India into two. You have Islamic Republic of Pakistan and India. In India since 1948, there had never been a military coup. India has been able to manage its democracy without any single military intervention. Pakistan is, on its own part, has been having several military governments taking over civilian administration. Look at development. India is far ahead in terms of human capital development, in terms of science and technology, in terms of pharmaceutical. There is nowhere Pakistan is closer to India in terms of development. The only thing that Pakistan can boast of is that it has nuclear weapon. It has nuclear bomb, just like India too have. But who has a nuclear bomb helped? People of India are highly regarded all over the world for their technological survey. You see Indians, they are among the top decision makers in Google, in Facebook, in anywhere that high tech are talked about. Where is Pakistan? That is exactly what happens to any nation that allow military to be involved in its politics. We have had enough of the military in Nigeria's politics. So this country cannot accept them. On no account should anybody even contemplate it. But that is exactly what we are seeing from those protesters in northern Nigeria who are waving those Russian flags. What they are trying to do is to say that they like what happened in Niger. They like what happened in Burkina Faso. They like what happened in Mali. That Russia should come and do this same thing in Nigeria, because it was alleged that Russia was the instigator in chief in the regime change in Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali, in which those military regime that entered severed the relation with France, their previous colonial masters. Okay? And there is this illusion that now, since Niger had a military government, they are doing better. They can't do any better. It's lie from the pit of hell. It's just that people are not being told how they are passing through hardship over there in Niger. So basically, there's nothing to recommend them. Now, which now brings me to the main issue. Who could be those behind this quest for regime change? First of all, let us look at those who want Russian regime change, Russian-backed regime change, as happened in Burkina Faso, as happened in Niger, as happened in Mali. You know that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the Nigerian military leader, they are not in good terms. When he took over the government, Tinubu administration reacted harshly and was even rallying the ECOWAS to invade that country to restore the president that was removed from office. So when you have a situation like that, somebody like him, if he discovered that the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is unpopular in Nigeria and that there are demonstrations going on, he can send his agents to infiltrate the whole process. Don't forget that Niger and Nigeria are just a stone throw away. And in terms of language, physiology, and everything, it is difficult for many people to differentiate between a Nigerian and a northern person. They can easily be part of the crowd. And of course, they can also be coming and indoctrinate people to buy into the idea that there's a need for regime change in Nigeria so that Nigeria will become like Niger Republic. And that's what many people believe that Russia did in Niger, that it could be repeated in Nigeria. Because if you look at the speed with which these Russian flags was being spread all over northern Nigeria, the speed with which they were appearing in Zamfara, in Katsina, in Kano, in Kaduna, in Zaria, everywhere, it shows that it was a coordinated affair. And that could be the handiwork of the enemies of the regime outside Nigeria, could be from Niger Republic. Don't forget, Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali, they have ceased to be members of ECOWAS. They can do anything to undermine the Tinubu administration. So they could be, Niger in particular, could be behind what is happening. This flooding of Nigeria, northern Nigeria, with Russian flag, in order to instigate a military change of government. Okay, that's part of the something I can from my own understanding, this could be part of it. But thankfully, the government itself is not sleeping. The administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu has moved quickly. They have arrested those who are the teller that was sowing this thing in Kano, and perhaps it will lead them to other people, because the teller may be an innocent person who just was contracted and gave a job. There must be people who brought those clothes. Where did they get such massive number of Russian materials to sew the Russian flag? Okay, so that's it. That is the external angle to that what we are seeing. Then another dimension to it, outside the enemies of Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration, outside Nigeria, who might infiltrate from there, who might send their agents to northern Nigeria that is closer. Because like if you observe, there is no other part of Nigeria. Protests took place in Lagos, protests took place in parts of South, took place in Abuja and other places. There were no place that these Russian flags were flown in southern Nigeria or in Abuja. It was in the far north, all those areas that are closer to Niger Republic, all those areas that it is easier for Niger Republic to infiltrate. That's where you see this Russian flag being very, very prominent and displayed with such fastness and speed. Okay, so which means that you may not have to look further than our closest neighbor, Niger Republic, as a source of that instigation. Okay, and good enough also, the chief of defense staff has said that those who are flying the flag, foreign flag, is an offense in Nigeria. That's a treasonable offense. They know how to handle that. Okay, they will know what to do about that. And as I said, this country does not want any interference with our democracy outside the democratic process at all. Now, what is the other option? Who else can we blame? Who could be behind this protest in northern Nigeria and the waving of the Russian flag? It could also be instigated from inside Nigeria. Who are those who could instigate it inside Nigeria? The government may be quick to think that it is the opposition parties that will be behind it. Even when you listen to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu when he spoke on Sunday, you can see he was talking about the politicization of the grievances and all that. It may not be those who he defeated in the election, as it's easier for him and his spokespeople to imagine. There are people in northern Nigeria who felt that Bola Ahmed Tinubu should be a one-term president. Those people can take advantage of this protest this protest that Nigerians, which was a genuine protest because people are suffering, they can infiltrate it and use it to create crisis in the Tinubu regime, because it is all part of a pattern. They want to ensure that Tinubu is a one-term president. They don't want Tinubu to have 8 years, because if you watch many northern elites, many of them are feeling that they cannot allow power. They want a return of power to northern Nigeria in the next election, 2027. So anything that they can do to show that Tinubu is unpopular, that Tinubu administration has failed, and nobody can deny the fact that Tinubu administration has really messed up the economy of the country in terms of, if you look at the exchange rate, look at the inflation, look at everything. Okay, so those people can instigate that flag, Russian flag waving in northern Nigeria, okay, to ensure that he's a one-term president. Okay, so they can activate the kind of opposition they activated against Jonathan in 2015. It seems that they have activated it to ensure that they make Tinubu administration very uncomfortable, that even the Tinubu himself will think twice before presenting himself for the 2027 presidential election. So that's another angle to look at it. So they could also be those behind the flags, so they can sponsor it. They can also be the instigators to try to see how they can make things difficult for Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his administration, so that they will not think of winning the next election. That if there's what they are thinking, they want to show their hands that they don't want him to do more than first term. So they could be behind all those flag waving. But that also is a question that needs more interrogation by the government itself. Because in the course of the investigation, they will be able to find out whether those who are funding this flag sowing were from within or from without. Okay, because it's another thing to want to stop Tinubu in 2027, but it's another thing for somebody to be instigating a change, an undemocratic change in regime even before 2027, which is a serious matter that is treasonable. So those are the issues they have to look at. First of all, look at the external factors behind the Russian flag waving and the internal factors behind the flag waving. Those who want to send a message that they want Tinubu to be a one-term president like Jonathan. Those are the people I believe are behind the Russian flag waving that is going on in northern Nigeria in terms of the protest against hunger and bad governance in Nigeria today. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.